The second live weekly show. We've done a lot of shows, but these are live shows. Officially live, which means when we have glitches or errors, you'll have to edit them out and watch them when I cut clips throughout the week because right now anything can happen. Anything, right? Show today is insane. Absolutely insane. I have the single craziest headline I've ever found that we are going to talk about on the show. Ryan doesn't know about it. But we also have, just for the record, we're going to be talking about Band-Aids. And yeah, wait till you hear this shit. Crazy study about Band-Aids. The economy. If it's too expensive, that's your fault. RFK Jr. His campaign has sent out apologies. I'll explain why. Microsoft made some errors that benefited China. Yeah, chemtrails aren't real until they are. And then whatever else Ryan's got, because Ryan will just flow and add whatever he needs to add. Ryan, before we get rolling, what you got? You got anything?
Women make no sense, but that's
I'm sure we'll get to that at some point.
yeah.
All right, Ryan, let's do this. Are you ready?
This weekend, so I guess we're on the right path.
You did what now?
I said I didn't see any divorce rings this weekend. So. I told 2 people about that this past week. Interesting. Spread the word. Just bring it up casually to people. Yeah, she went and got a divorce ring. Oh, what?
I found out more about that girl too, Emily Ratajkowski. Was that the one that started the divorce ring thing?
Yeah.
You know who that is? Do you remember?
Look at how the show is.
Oh. What the hell was that song? Was it Blurred Lines or something? Pharrell was in it. It was a very wild song. She was one of the dancers in that song. That's how she got her start. So yeah, divorce rings. What a shock.
Makes sense. We're listening from the whore about divorce rings.
Let's bring it up on the screen, Ryan, because I can't. This is literally the craziest thing I've ever seen written in text. I cannot hype this up enough. This is absurd. Ryan, you're about to go fucking crazy. Give me just a second to read the headline in the first paragraph, and you can go from there because that's all you're going to need. Johnson & Johnson boosts heart device business in a $13.1 billion shockwave deal. April 5th, Johnson & Johnson, Friday, agreed to buy Shockwave Medical in a deal valued at $13.1 billion, including debt, as it builds its cardiac health-centric medical devices business to help drive growth. I wonder why they feel the need to get in on cardiac arrests now.
I wonder if cardiac arrest equipment combats myocarditis, David.
I can't believe when we tell people to use common sense and trust your senses, it's equipped with the idea that you need to go out and read things because I'm sorry.
Dude, if you bought something for $13 billion, how much money are you planning on getting? How the fuck? You know who buys shit for billions of dollars, David? Fucking athletics. The Bills, like
this is no coinky
this
dink.
is insane. $13 billion. That's larger than GDP of countries. That's 10 times the amount of money Alex Jones has to pay the victims of Sandy Hook.
Do you suspect it's Veep, Ryan?
I cannot wait to punch Ben Shapiro in the face. I swear to God. Of course, verbally on the internet, YouTube. But this has gone on long enough, yo. Myocarditis. Who was the first person to say this was going to happen? Because this guy is the prophet that keeps on giving. Heart. So let me get this straight. We needed. Remember when we needed breathing machines because you couldn't breathe on COVID, and then they built $1 billion worth of breathing machines that they didn't use?
The ventilators.
This is what, like I said, I'm so tired. I said this last week, I think it was, about the bridge, that I'm so tired of like trying to rationalize why I need to listen to liars. Like, I know they lie about everything already. I'm so fucking tired of it. This is They gave everybody myocarditis and turbo cancer. Why are so
And
many
now,
young people dying? Turbo cancer is a conspiracy theorist on the
and,
internet.
and now even worse than that, they're setting the base and the foundation to profit from it.
Dude, $13 billion is unreal. And I wonder how long Cyberwave, or whatever the hell it's called, has been around. I'm sure this is like a relatively old practice. I'm sure, David.
Shockwave.
Yeah, I'm sure it's just funneled from third-party contracts of government money and possibly big pharma industrial complex to just siphon money off. Be like, hey, we're gonna give everybody a myocarditis. How about you start planning the cure so then we can buy it from Johnson and Johnson and sell it there for billions?
I'm not sure how long they've been around for. And I'm not sure. I didn't research a whole pile about the company, but when I saw
Dave,
this,
this is
It's one
I'm
thing I
sorry,
know, Ryan.
you are so right.
We
This is me off so fucking bad. I can't even like Dave, it's not even it's not even about you being weak enough to fight back at this point. Like, they're gonna kill you before you even realize they're killing you. Heart
well,
attacks like right away,
not
like
us.
it's not
Like, we're
like
good.
it's not like, oh, I'll get to the doctor in a couple hours and I'll be okay. Like, no, you need bare aspirin and adrenaline in your. I'm sorry, Dave. I'll listen better. This is fucking unbelievable. $13 billion. You're telling me they're gonna at least try to triple their money? How would they know to buy this? Or it's just let's give them benefit of the doubt, Dave. It's just from all the fat Americans out there with their high sugar fructose corn syrup diet.
Well, even if that's the case, it's no coincidence that the medical community is ignored the fact that being fat is unhealthy.
It's beautiful. Love yourself at every curve, unless you're a man.
What I will say, this is me giving them the benefit of the doubt. If I don't think they were planning for the vaccines to cause myocarditis. And the reason I say that is because if they were planning for that to happen, they would have bought Shockwave 3 years ago, right? Because then they would have been ready for what's happening now. I think they went, "Oh shit, we're causing myocarditis," covered it up, and now they're buying the company to get some profit off of what they mistakenly have done, which is uh, kill everybody.
What if they really do kill everybody?
Well, well, then we'll all be dead, Ryan. Well, not
You know
all
how
of us.
fucking you know how
Not
fucking
all of us.
pissed off
We
I'm gonna
won't
be.
be.
I'll be laying in the hospital, super mad. I'm gonna be super
On a
mad if they say,
ventilator.
"Oh my god, just unplug that thing. Let me go. I'm not sitting here."
You know what the most dangerous thing about all of this is?
What?
Myself, at least this is from a selfish angle. I don't know how much I can trust a doctor in the future.
Why would you trust them ever again?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the super dangerous thing. Like I could, it's going to come to a point where a doctor is going to give me good doctor advice, and I'm going to ignore him because I don't trust him anymore. It's like to a fault. I'm not going to trust people.
Just ask the AI, David. It will never lie to you.
I wonder if the AI would bring up the fact that Johnson and Johnson is buying Shockwave. I don't know. When I saw this, I thought there's no way, this is absurd. I couldn't even believe that I saw this headline, and the fact that they would they would out in the open amidst everybody's conspiracy theories, right? That the vaccines are causing myocarditis. Amidst all that, be like, yeah, we're gonna buy this company that prevents or helps with heart attacks, and no one will be none the wiser except us, of course. Just remember this headline from like when a year from now, this is more of a headline.
Yeah, and also, Dave, we'll lump this into when Johnson and Johnson buys a vaccine that combats like monkey sicknesses after the monkey farm in Bainbridge, Georgia.
Dude, the monkey farm is such a crazy
The
for
greatest
people who for people who missed that. You got to go back and watch the monkey farm.
monkey
Absurd.
farm. Good day. Thanks, bro.
All right, Ryan. Turbo cancer, regular cancer, it's all the same.
Yo,
The one
turbo
thing
cancer was crazy, dude. Why are
listen,
so
if
many young people dying of cancer? That's literally sounds like turbo cancer, David.
whether
Oh, you're
it's
only 30 and you got the disease of a 70-year-old? Not turbo cancer.
it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's turbo cancer, supercharger cancer, natural aspiration cancer, it's irrelevant. This
Six cancer,
dude, are you ready for this?
turbo cancer,
What you
Vin
didn't
Diesel cancer.
expect, what you didn't expect about cancer is that it was caused by Band-Aids.
What?
The Daily Mail, who is an advertising and news company. What the fuck is all this? This is absurd. This is way
Rat
too
foil
many
around your
advertisements.
doorknob. Why? Why alone?
Way too many advertisements. Cancer
Daily
causing
Mail and advertising.
cancer causing forever chemicals are found in Band-Aids, where they can get directly into blood through open wounds. New report finds. Worse than that, 65% of bandages contained fluorine, a necessary component of PFAS. PFAS or forever chemicals are in cookware, firefighting foam, and carpeting, and also band-aids. And it's saying in most bandage companies have forever chemicals, cancer-causing chemicals.
Yeah, Dave, I thought it didn't matter because it's only a small amount, David.
You know what's crazy? Well, yeah, but what if you cut yourself a lot? You know what's super crazy? For years,
It's only a
I
small
was
amount. Doesn't matter, Dave. Doesn't matter.
the first cut is the most cancerous. Um, the crazy thing is, for years, like when I would get a small cut, Ryan, I know you worked with me for a while. So like you don't get a band-aid. You just like super glue that bitch back together and you get to work, right?
Yeah,
If it's a bad enough cut. Or you just let it be cut
bleed.
until it's not cut anymore. Yeah. You just keep
Yeah,
it
you
clean.
bleed like a man.
Yeah, like it'll just hold itself back together. That's what the blood's for. So I'm non-injected, no COVID vaccines, so I'm superior in that way.
Uh-huh.
And I also am not filled with cancer from bandages.
You're anti-Band-Aid now, David.
I've been anti-Band-Aid, but now I'm actually anti-Band-Aid.
You're pro. You're pro not cancer by being
Dude,
anti-Band.
you know what I'm against? I'm against advertising. This is ridiculous. Not actually against advertising. It's just ridiculous. Yeah, cancer in the Band-Aids, Ryan.
David, clearly they're a publisher, so they can have advertisement.
Dude, Ben Shapiro running around telling Candace Owens he's only going to debate her on Daily Wire, where they can edit the videos and post them however they like is fucking crazy.
I would do that. I would just hire my own production company to follow me around if I was Candace Owens. That would be my first podcast. No NDAs, Ben. What are we talking? Oh, forever chemicals.
Cancer and
Yeah, yeah,
Band-Aids,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing that we now have forever chemicals from our Band-Aids and all the way to Antarctica and the polar ice caps. We also have forever chemicals in your underwear. So from dicks to bruises, David.
Well, cuts. I don't know many people who put Band-Aids on their bruises. You have spoken in the past about was it 100% cotton clothing?
Yeah, yeah. It's like the only way to not have forever chemicals.
No,
Anything
none
that
of
got
the
polyester, polyester is plastic. Plastic is made from oil. And forever chemicals are like basically, I'm not a scientist there, Mike, but it's basically derived from things that are derived from man-made substances like oil products. So, and I don't know, like what makes me think about it too now is that everything's recycled plastic, and I wonder if when they recycle it, they need more forever chemicals, so it's got more forever chemicals, and like maybe they change it so it's not a PFA or a, what was the one in water bottles? BPA, is
yeah.
a forever chemical, but there's tens of thousands of these things. So
You mean like this?
yeah, and it's interesting because people are like, "Oh, you can't leave it in your car because it gets hot or cold." And it's like, do you think that tractor trailer at Walmart that brought it to the store was climate controlled? Because it
Climate
probably,
controlled, 68.4 degrees.
yeah, with a bunch of Mexicans sitting on top of it. No diapers though during a pandemic and no baby formula. So Those are
No, we talked about that. That was they were stored in the warehouse. I have inside sources. Get a video of a warehouse
Sorry, don't
filled with
listen to us, David.
formula, dude.
It's not
What
like
the
not
fuck?
like we talked to pilots that started the vaccine pushback at the. Yeah, fuck these people. Band-Aid. Look, they know what they're doing, Dave. Like anything plastic. I was just talking to my dad today about looking at electrician stuff for like a new tool belt.
Okay,
You know,
they're
and
going
like
cotton, 100% cotton tool belt, Ryan.
leather instead of polyester. Polyester's cheaper. It's the wove polyester is like that woven knit shit. And at first glance, you're like, whatever, it's a belt, right? And granted, if I would probably buy polyester if I wasn't a little more educated, but it really comes down to practicality as well when I look at longevity, because all the leather stuff is water resistant. So that's all season. You know, I have gotten my polyester pouch that I have now wet and it fucking stinks and it doesn't dry. And so the pouch I have is all polyester and it does good, but I'll always have to keep buying them. And the leather stuff's all more expensive. It's almost twice the money. But when I wear my tool belt, I get sweaty. Like I literally like where the tool belt is not
The
wet.
polyester belt.
Yeah, yeah. Like it's like a added. It's not like a, it like sits up here, but it's got like all your tools and shit in there. And I do get sweaty on it, and I think sometimes that like, it's not like the forever chemical leaking in there, but the point is like getting in the habit of like being mindful where I can and I can afford it. Like I can justify buying all leather tool belt shit because I work 40 at least hours a week. So I should, for bare minimum, the stuff that makes me money should be the highest quality stuff because it's going to be able to make me the most money the longest. And the higher quality tool I buy, the less times I have to buy that tool. So it makes me the most money. So in reality, it costs the least amount of money to buy the better tool. I learned this in automotive and I've carried it over in electrical.
Yeah,
And
I
then,
agree 100%.
and then on top of it, if there's a health benefit, if it fits nicer, if it prevents back pain, if it's whatever, if it's a better lifestyle increaser, it's worth the 50 extra dollars one time for 10 years. Because in reality, that is like $2 more a year. You know what I mean? And it's dumb. You got to kind of break it down like that to justify it to yourself. At least I do sometimes. But the point is like the main objective was that it was ground in the fact that I'm trying to separate. Now, granted, once again, this hoodie is actually polyester, but I haven't bought this hoodie in 10 years, 5 years. I wasn't aware, like it's don't throw out your closet, but when you're buying the next thing, try to buy 50% cotton at first or something. This is stuff that I've come on here and told you guys to try to limit some of this shit. And as
I
we
don't
get
know what this
older,
is. What do you think this is? It's
I have
from
a
this is from a leading cancer place
ooh,
in Buffalo, New York. So you would think they're not going to have a lot of forever chemicals in these.
you think they'd want cancer-free products there?
I can't fucking read this. How the fuck am I supposed to read this, Ryan? You read it.
Looks polyester,
It looks polyester.
fleece lined polyester.
I don't know. It doesn't say anything.
Yeah.
We're doing this, Ryan. We're doing this on show.
Yeah, I think like the most important thing to really facilitate is just like anything else. Like the things you wear on your body are just as important as what you put in your body with food and diet and exercises.
50% cotton.
Yeah, see, that's a good start. Now, granted, cotton shrinks and shit, so like I don't even blink. You have to buy pre-shrunk cotton shirts. It's more maintenance. The color might fade. Like I get it.
You need Egyptian cotton, right?
Yeah, I don't know what to say. If we all bought cotton, look, we need to fucking tell them that we know they're killing me. Like I'm not done. It's not Veep, Ben Shapiro, you piece of shit, that they're poisoning me. Ben Shapiro can afford cotton shirts, little Jewish prick. Give me the cotton shirts. Cotton shirts used to be $5, David, when we were kids. Why the fuck are they not? Because they don't want me to have cotton shirts because they know. They want you to be fucking dumb and slow. Eat the crickets. Wear the cotton. Wear the fake cotton shit. Climb in the pod. Don't have children.
Listen, we're going to be able...
Put on your VR headset. You could be rich there. You could play the Tate simulator, David.
One day,
humming all over yourself, cream pieing your fucking wife that you put back after she cheated on you 3 times. Jeremy,
divorce is never okay.
Look, if I'm ever allowed to make a VR world, it will be the one where Ben Shapiro is the center of it, and everything he's ever said is the opposite. It's fucking little dork. Sorry, I gotta stop hating on this guy. He's probably gonna character assassinate me one day. That's when I know we'll make it, Dave. Is when Ben Shapiro does a hit piece on our program. What's wrong with the economy?
Ryan, this is courtesy of the Wall Street Journal. What's wrong with the economy? It's you, not the data. The economy's fine, Ryan. You just can't afford it.
Yeah, the election numbers were fine, David. It just
Okay.
defies.
The
Look
economy
at
versus how
look at the
people
bend. You
feel.
see the fucking look, Dave. It's got the same bend in there that the election did.
This one. This one
No,
right
the
here.
one before that, right there, where it goes
This one
down.
down here.
Yeah. If you go
Oh,
back,
now it's an advertisement. Dude, advertisements are fucking terrible.
yeah, that
In the
AI.
in the latest poll of swing states, 74% of respondents said inflation has moved in the wrong direction. They haven't said that. It is bad.
How
It's
much is
high
serious about you,
inflation.
Dave?
Even if it's dude, even if the inflation's come down a little bit from 2 years ago or whatever, it's still high.
Oh yeah, there it is. Look at that.
Look at that. There she is.
I
So
hate.
the Wall Street Journal is effectively blaming people for the bad economy because it's not actually bad. You just feel like it's bad. Got an Anheuser-Busch over there.
So they killed people, lied to you, trapped you in your house, printed money into oblivion, abolished the
Yeah,
middle
okay.
class through high prices 3 years
Mhm.
after the thing because we knew it wouldn't happen right away.
Well,
They
yeah.
blew up bridges on purpose.
He just mistakenly ran into the bridge.
Yeah, I fail to see how this happens all the time. This is like the only. Then again, those train derailments that happen all the time that you never hear about, the 50 plus a year. Where was I going
Well,
with
I'm
this?
sure the black box is missing.
Yeah, it's so weird. Just 2 minutes of it, Dave. So what were we talking about right before this? I got distracted with the
The
plane.
terrible economy, right? The
Oh
terrible
yeah,
economy.
yeah. So because I'm in charge of the printing press, right, Dave? You're in charge of the printing press. You're in charge of the power of the person.
No. It's not. Yeah, but you're missing the point, Ryan. The economy isn't actually bad. It's just our fault for thinking it's bad.
It's the slave's fault for thinking they're slaves,
That's
David.
that's right. That's the entire article. That's it. And then they try to point to very specific, for example, inflation. Well, inflation's down, even though people think it's still high. Yeah, it's down, but it's still way higher than it was pre-COVID.
Nobody I know can afford an apartment on one income, but inflation's fine. The economy's fine.
Well, it's coming down, right?
Rent hasn't.
Well, it's no, but statistically, rent's always gone up.
That's what I mean.
Everything always gets more expensive, so the fact that it got really expensive really fast isn't the fault of the economy.
It's
That's just
my
all.
fault, David.
Did you see people in California? I'll see if I can pull it up. Like they had a $20 minimum wage like law go in effect for like fast food workers. Their shit is through the fucking roof. It's insane. I'll see if I can pull this up. In-N-Out Burger, Ryan?
I know.
You probably been.
I
Have
know
you
it's
been
a.
to California? It's a terrible place. Don't go.
Well, surely, David, if a cheeseburger there costs as much as like a real cheeseburger at a mom and pop restaurant, I would probably prefer to go. But then again, if a McDonald's cheeseburger is $15, the mom and pop cheeseburger's got to be like 30. Like
The hard-fought wage increase to 20 an hour from California's current minimum wage of 16 an hour was compromise. That was the compromised rate from the initial demands of $22 an hour.
things I have to learn to know. Like I have to physically know to make $22 an hour.
Well, here's the thing that not enough people realize. If you raise minimum wage, it's not inherently going to make the economy more expensive just because the people making minimum wage at McDonald's is going to make the Big Mac cost more, which it will. That's true. But the reason the economy is going to become freakishly expensive is because people who were making say $7.50 an hour and you drive their wage to $20 an hour, now the people who made 20 being electricians are going to want like $40 an hour.
Yeah, and then it's gonna be like $700 an hour to change a fucking outlet at your house. And an old lady, right? If I run an electrician company and I send somebody to your house to change an outlet out and run some wire, and he's there for half a day, it's gonna be $700. This woman doesn't have seven, so how the fuck can I even run a business? But we need electricians, right?
Well, that's the other thing. Businesses are also going to have to absorb the higher cost, right? Like, if I'm a business and holy shit, I need to change out all my old light fixtures because all that government red tape. They said they want LED fixtures. Well, unless I know how to do that myself, I have to hire somebody who knows how to do that. That guy used to be $20 an hour. He's now $40 an hour because I am now forced to pay $20 an hour to people who flip hamburgers. Like, this is snowballing. People don't understand that all this just accumulates. And then when we have to fire up the old printing press to pay for these stupid policies where we're paying people $20 an hour because we compromised instead of 22 to literally make french fries. Like, I'm not being a dick. I don't want to put people down. Like, hard work is hard work. I get it. But like, there's a certain amount of production you have as a fast food worker versus an electrician. Like, you produce very different things, and there's a market demand for the production. This is why the market needs to be in control of all this. You're going to make things so fucking outrageously expensive that people can't afford it, and then we have to read Wall Street Journal
My,
articles that
my,
it's my fault that I think everything's too expensive.
but I don't make enough money.
Isn't that
The Mc,
victim blaming?
David.
Where did that term go? Isn't this victim blaming? Can we
The
get Wall Street Journal for this?
the McDonald's worker that makes $5 less than I do, even though I have to be this highly trained, precision skilled trician, right? Makes $5 less an hour than I do. It's my fault that I can't afford rent. Neither can they. But my skill set used to be able to get me a 2-bedroom apartment on one income and raise a family, but it doesn't now because the person
Oh,
at
that's weird.
McDonald's couldn't afford that either. Even though the things I have to learn and know to afford my lifestyle is 10 times what they know.
And let's take this to its final point too, because we know people. This isn't Veep, right? We need to clarify that every point isn't Veep. This isn't Veep. They're smart enough to know the thing that I just said, which is that when you
No,
raise
Dave,
minimum wage, everybody's wages go up, everything becomes more expensive.
no, Dave, you're just
Nobody can afford rent. Nobody can buy a house. Who's going to buy all the houses? There's houses for sale. Who's buying all these houses if nobody can afford them?
BlackRock.
Oh, that's weird. Do you think they lobby and push policy to the government, Ryan?
Well, David, I'm sure that wouldn't happen. I actually told you guys I think it's the opposite. I think the government actually invests in these companies and then drive it that way. So I think it's the other way. But yeah, David, of course, the government lobbies BlackRock to do this, helps
Well,
do this.
the good news, Ryan, if you'd like, we certainly could change the government through this thing called an election, right? Assuming it wasn't stolen.
I tried
And
electing them every time, David. It's only gotten worse.
yeah, but you could try electing people. And during an election, you usually have several choices, typically two.
I think I voted 15 times in my life, David.
Listen,
Like I've voted
and
more than my mother has.
well,
Like
the
I've
problem
voted
is
physically more times than my mom has because she only votes for presidents. Like, what are we talking about?
they steal the elections, and then when you protest the fact that they stole elections, they take away your rights. And that brings us to this next
Surely,
thing that I
David, they
saw,
would
which
never do
I
that. It's guaranteed in the
well, they
Constitution.
no, they did. They literally did. RFK Jr. campaign walks back fundraising emails that said January 6th defendants were stripped of constitutional liberties. Why did you walk that back?
Yeah, I thought that guy was gonna go fix the system, David.
Why
Just
would you
vote.
walk that back?
Just
They
vote.
were stripped of they literally were stripped of constitutional liberties.
There's dudes I still haven't seen a lawyer.
Speedy trial, yeah. Well, you can go with the most basic, right, of the speedy trial, uh, which
It's
certainly hasn't happened. Jury of your peers, jury
yo,
of your peers.
6 years for a terrorist is a speedy trial, David. Just make sure it's till after the next election, so you can't be a symbol of hope for the 2024 election.
I don't like. Why walk that back?
Because
And
RFK was going to fix the system, David. The Kennedy family that was so strong and moral they had to shoot him with a magic bullet to kill him
do you
because
think
JFK was a werewolf.
do you think this was do you think this is a business decision, right? From a political standpoint, do you think the campaign is looking at polling and thinking we're taking more people from the Biden side than we are from the Trump side? So our best bet is to follow that path. And if we're running around telling everybody that and this I don't think it's going to stop here, but if we're running around telling everybody that vaccines are dangerous and that January 6th was fair and just and okay and just protesting, these Biden voters aren't the ones that were primarily winning aren't going to keep coming to us.
That's a good point, David. I don't know. I mean, he's obviously. I've seen the thing article. One of the mainstream said that RFK is going to take votes from Biden in a way, right? Like the Ross Perot, which we always hear every election, but
Yeah, but
he's
we've never
further
actually really
piggybacking. Dave, I mean,
yeah,
I
we
think
haven't really seen it.
yeah, but this is like a policy thing. I think like it's also showing you that you can't even moderately touch January 6th with a 10-foot freedom pole in any regard. That you can't. It's amazing that we forget that the people that went there, and like we always hear this with Black Lives Matter or like Antifa, that it's 99. They were mostly peaceful protesting, but like the January 6 riots, we're told by Ben Shapiro it's the worst day since 9/11. Even though we're being invaded by millions of people every day. Don't worry about it.
Well,
You know,
it's crazy. Like we've talked about this several times, but like nobody was armed other than the Capitol Police. The only people who died, one person died. It was a protester shot by a Capitol Police officer. Like I, I don't I
Nancy
don't
Pelosi.
understand how you can look at that and say it's an insurrection. If it was an insurrection, it was the most failed, most ill prepared insurrection in the history of the world. Like, who shows up to an insurrection to overthrow your government or overturn an election unarmed in the most armed country in the world?
David, surely the battles of the Civil War were not as serious as January 6th. Surely.
Well, it was the new modern day 9/11.
That's I don't care how good that guy's shot is or if he boxes, but
If RFK boxes?
no, RFK better box. Dude's jacked. Ben Shapiro's dorky ass. I'm so tired of him.
Oh, no, no,
I
no.
really hope I don't want any will ill on anybody,
He's
but
probably like Zuckerberg. He probably does like karate or whatever.
yeah, if he loses everything, I wouldn't feel sorry for him. Like really, because he has not been a net positive. All the same. Oh, RFK. Yeah, I don't know, dude. I think the more telling thing, whether or not RFK is walking back or whatever, I mean, it's got to be something. I'd love to actually hear him discuss, to your point about the vaccines, I'd love to actually hear his breakdown on January 6th and what he believes. And if that is a campaign slogan, if people did lose their constitutional liberties, it's very easy. Like, that's the beautiful thing about the Constitution, David. I don't know if you've read it recently, but it's very easy to read. Like,
I haven't read it recently, but I suspect it hasn't changed.
my understanding is the things it says are like relatively self-explanatory.
It's supposed to not change, right? Or is it a living document?
Well, every time I read it, there's different words being removed, David. So clearly it's living. It gets the DLC update from the internet, David. The AI Constitution. Um, yeah, I mean, if you get your the idea of civil liberties is supposed to be so there's 10 of them, you have 10 fingers. Like they're supposed to be so simple that anybody could understand them, whether or not you could read English or not. And the idea that somebody may or may have not lost liberty is dumb because they're very easy to recognize that you've lost your liberty. So once again, the idea that we can't even discuss if people did or didn't lose liberty about January 6th in itself may be indicative of what you need to draw about January 6th because they did not like it. There's a reason they built a wall around the White House even more than they already did.
That's a
I'm
weird thing to
sure.
do.
I'm sure. It's
Can't you just jump the wall with a plane, Ryan?
yeah. Only if you're half
You can
retarded,
just dig under it.
trans female. And then the other point, I think, almost more importantly about that, I really would like to know RFK's position on January 6th, because there is people on the internet that have these people's names out there and they have listed how they've lost liberty. So, like, if we're supposed to think that RFK is going down there, Andrew Schultz and Joe Rogan and PBD and all these people that he's been on that are like, RFK is our guy, Eric Weinstein, right? Right, Dave? All these people. Bobby Kennedy is the only thing that's going to stop the vaccine. I heard that come out of Eric Weinstein's mouth, Weinstein, whatever. That, but he's walking back possible known. I mean, this is
Well,
the
to your
idea
point,
of
Ryan.
questioning the establishment, right? That's his rhetoric. The idea of questioning the establishment, the definition of questioning the establishment is questioning January 6th validity as far as it being an insurrection. And if I can't question that, I don't live in a free country. Because I'm not even saying it was good or bad or indifferent. If I can't even ask questions about a historical event, I don't live in a free country, which means my civil liberties are infringed on, Dave, which all goes back to Robert Kennedy, that if you're not going to say this was a violation of your constitutional rights, well, I even have constitutional rights.
Yeah, so to your point,
I'm
Ryan, I'd
tired of
like to
people
hear.
thinking it's not a slippery slope, Dave, because it is. We've seen every single motherfucking time. Liberty once lost is never restored. I think Patrick Henry said that. You don't get them back. You don't have 99% freedom. Is that my fault? Yeah, that is actually our fault when we lose liberty. Because, God forbid I go protest and be told I'm a terrorist. And then, sorry, man.
Well,
It's,
you're subject to being drone stricken.
yeah, they'll just send a robot in here to self explode. Oh, police.
Um,
No, it wasn't police brutality. It was just the AI robot. It doesn't have feelings, David. So it didn't know what it was doing. It's not brutality because it can't do brutality because it doesn't have a consciousness, David. Clearly, it doesn't have free will, David. It can't be brutal.
I'd like to hear what RFK Jr. has to say himself, because to your point, Ryan, this was a campaign decision, and I suspect the campaign didn't make decisions without his approval, Ryan, but maybe.
I'm sure the Kennedy legacy, David, is a very buttoned up organization that has no portals that could be infiltrated by Facebook groups, David, and $5,000 in Russian rubles to sway elections.
Well, it was either he walked this back or the CIA shot him in the head. So, something had to give.
I mean, it's not like, I'm sure the Secret Service would protect him from that, David.
Ryan, chemtrails? Are you familiar with chemtrails?
I have no idea what you're talking about, David. I just know geoengineering, I think, is the word they use.
Oh, so it's not called chemtrails.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know. I was told that it's not. Geoengineering. Tested launch with. Why would it be secret if it's fucking nothing wrong? Just Veep, David. It's just done in secret. Let me guess. It was done at 12:01 in the fucking morning.
It's a nice ship. It'd be a shame if it
What day was this?
went
Easter.
into
Let
a
me guess. This was
bridge.
published the day before fucking Easter. Esther.
The experiment in San Francisco could lead to brighter clouds that reflect sunlight. The risks are numerous. Why would you say such a thing?
Maybe the clouds will be too bright, David. Will the clouds be LGBT colors, David?
So they're trying to create more brighter reflective clouds because the sun's too hot and they want it to be hot in space.
Go be hot somewhere else, David.
It's fucking absurd. Yeah,
I
so
thought chemtrails weren't real, David.
so
How?
literally
What?
for literally 20 years, 25 years, they told you that chemtrails aren't real and they're just clouds that are vertical in order.
Straight lines.
Yeah, just straight. There's some of those straight line clouds.
That was the one that always got people because it was like the easiest thing to point to conspiracy wise. Because you tell them your water's poison, they're like, you're crazy. But like you would have to scoop that and go test it. Now they got the tests at Home Depot, so it's easier. But yeah, when you see like 7 planes over the course of an hour fly like, I don't know, unilaterally by each other. I mean,
So just so everyone's clear, that's a conspiracy. but they will openly publish the fact that they're geoengineering clouds to be brighter to reflect the sun because it's good for the climate. It
Yeah, but
can't
the
be
has.
both things. This is literally doublespeak, right?
I don't know what doublespeak is, David. I don't know what book
Oh,
that's. They took it
I
off the
think it's I
library.
think it's from Dr. Seuss, I think. Fucking crazy.
I never thought I'd live through the downfall of America like this. To be honest with you,
It's been fun.
I
Kind of
mean,
neat.
kind of neat. I guess it's a little scary. I tell my one buddy, because I'm not saying he's ready to go to physical lengths to do what he has to do.
He's gonna peacefully ask for his rights. He's one of the Is
Dude,
he gonna
so
peacefully ask for his
every
rights
week
back?
he goes and buys one of those peaceful. They're about this big and they're super peaceful. They're actually like stamped with peace in 557 increments. And he's right. He is not wrong, but I think we do forget that it's fought a different way now.
Well, it's one thing, as much as he was a conspiracy theorist, one thing Alex Jones was constantly correct about is that it's an info war.
Yeah, I mean, because I can't shoot my way to get you to see the plane trails that make beautiful colored clouds and to think that it's normal and that it's healthy and that the water that you wash your body with afterwards is also healthy so that your tranny daughter that thinks it's a boy girl Z Zem is completely normal because this is just a new thing and we just haven't socially accepted it long enough.
Ryan, I forgot to tell you.
David, you just haven't there hasn't been altering chemicals in our water tables yet. This is the first
Hold on.
time in
I do.
humanity. This is new
Yeah.
in our evolutionary chain, David, that we've experienced such high levels of estrogen mimicking chemicals and testosterone blocking chemicals. So, transgenderism is actually just a natural step if you introduce these chemicals at parts per million, a trillion times in your lifetime.
So, okay, so one thing I did want to mention, and I'm sure.
Shampoo makes you fucking bald. I don't know if you guys heard that one too.
Well, okay. So one thing I forgot to mention at the start of this, it's probably not
Mm.
going well. We're streaming live on YouTube also.
Oh, we're trying this again.
Well, there's like literally, we should play a game called How Many Episodes? Because there's no way that we're done already, right? You just said tranny daughters. There's no fuck. We're done. It's already over.
Well, as a faggot retard, you can't say on X.
Oh yeah. Well, I was trying. We might. Yeah.
Dave's like, I've never wanted to say it more in my life. I don't even talk like that normally.
No, I really don't. But when you tell me I can't say it now, I want to.
Yeah, that's
It's
retarded.
one of those. It's one of those things. Let's talk about people making errors, right?
Yo, the chemtrails are whack.
Microsoft committed, quote, a cascade of errors that
Just a
led
couple?
state-backed. Yeah,
Just a
a
couple?
whole cascade of them. Yeah, that led state-backed
small.
Chinese hackers to break into emails of senior U.S. officials. A federal report says.
Oh, so super intelligent people were just conned by a sequence of errors.
In a scathing indictment of Microsoft corporate security and transparency, a Biden administrative appointed review board issued a report Tuesday saying a cascade of errors by the tech giant. I hate when they just repeat the headline back in the. You already told me that part. Crazy. But I'm going to say this as somebody.
Well, David, it's not, surely they would be different because everybody reads the headline and the body of the article, David. So to make sure that the information matches, surely everybody does that when you see something.
I'll say this, Ryan, as two people who seem to predict the future. Hey, Joe's on. What up, Joe?
What's up, Joe?
One thing
I
I'll say
have
about
your cookies, bro. By the way, I have your cookies.
See, Joe's. All right, we got to get what we need to do though with Joe. And Joe, I love you. You're on YouTube. We were just talking about this. We just started streaming on YouTube again. I don't even know why, but I got to tell you, this is going to be short-lived, so I need you to head over to Rumble. I'll give it 2 to 3 days max.
Tranny daughter.
Oh, you said it again. Yeah,
look, look, Dave. I get paid to say tranny daughter. Okay, I don't know.
I'm going to say this as two people who tend to predict the future.
10.
The cascade of errors was not an accident.
Well, surely the senior officers, David, were well trained in phishing schemes and scams and knew that, that the sensitive data or whatever. What exactly happened? What did they lose? Just data? How did China benefit?
Well, China will always find a way to benefit. It concluded that Microsoft's security culture was inadequate and requires an overhaul. Oh, I'm sure
Oh,
it'd
I'm
be
sure
overhauled.
need some
Yeah,
government money. I'm sure, David.
yeah. I
Some
wonder who's going
government
to
portal.
overhaul.
Yeah, a
I'm sure
little
it'll be
government,
overhauled by Biden.
little government portal to make sure that your holes aren't too holy here.
It looks like just general information. Yeah, it must suck to have all your information sold to China, doesn't it? Biden administration. In all, the state-backed Chinese hackers broke into Microsoft Exchange Online email of 22 organizations and more than 500 individuals around the world, including U.S. Ambassador to China, Nicholas Burns. I'm sure there's no good information that you could find from the ambassador to China that would maybe give you a position of power. Joe
Nope.
said he's going to circle back to Rumble, like Joe Saki. Uh,
Veep, simply Veep, David. Clearly Veep.
accessing some cloud-based emails boxes for at least 6 weeks and downloading some 60,000 emails from the State Department alone. The 34-page report said 3 think tanks and 4 foreign government entities, including Britain's National Cybersecurity Center, were among those compromised.
So something not that important.
No, no. Why would you ever need that kind of information?
No, it might be like a global war going on soon. I don't know.
Hey, Mike. What up, Mike? I never met Mike in person. I just know him on Facebook.
Can meet him in person now. He's here.
Ryan, do you see the chats?
No, dude. I just see myself and you.
For real? You can't see him?
Right.
What's up?
Hey.
Yeah. The studio's supposed to be sacred, but not today.
It's supposed to be sacred, Ryan.
It's all right. He's a fan, so I appreciate it.
Fucking state backed. Yeah. So in to answer your question, Ryan, it only took tremendous amounts of national security data that certainly isn't important.
How's this not an attack on the United States?
It is.
So
Well, it is. It literally is.
Yeah, but protesting the 2020 election is terrorism. But China stealing
Well, that's domestic terrorism.
stealing 60. Why didn't they just delete the emails, David? It worked for Hillary Clinton.
Well, they were already stolen.
Just tell them to delete.
Tell China to delete them?
Yeah, just ask peacefully. Ask nicely.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Just like your freedom.
Holy fuck.
Ryan, yeah, if they think I'm going to ask for the freedom back,
That's what we're going to peacefully, of course.
Send Thomas Jefferson to England, and have them be like, look, we're a little upset. We'd like you to stop raping our wives and murdering our children. It'd be really nice of you.
Divorce is never okay, though.
Just dude, double cream pie. You got to take her back, dude. Yeah,
Ryan, this is
get us back to our roots, but you'll take your lying, cheating whore wife back. Okay. George Washington would do to freaking Nancy Washington if she was out being a thought. It's not called Mount Vernon for no reason, man.
Biting her with those non-wooden teeth. Ryan, it's time. The studio is not sacred. I can hear the doors.
Just picturing George Washington getting after it with his dentures.
We also have intruder. Put your tits away. Jesus Christ. Put your tits away. We're live.
Yo, let me see the tits. You're right about the YouTube thing. Rumble, we're fine.
Rumble, we're fine.
Fuck it, we're on Rumble.
I'm talking to Ryan on our show. I don't know if you know. Exchange server in on-prem, and I'm making everyone go Office 360 online. Oh, Joe's sending everybody Microsoft. But Joe, what happens if they have a cascade of errors?
Yeah.
What if you're hacked
Just
by China?
me, but it was a cascade. Multiple errors led to multiple things.
Yeah, ban TikTok, but we run Microsoft Office. Crazy. I'm getting invaded right now.
Yo,
It's like the
Dave. We'll
southern
just leave
border
it
at our
up
door
to
right
Ben
now.
Shapiro and his platform to take care of it for you.
Well, he's
Surely they'll do a good job.
well, he's a publisher, Ryan.
But he'll just, Christ is king, right? Jesus was.
Ryan, it is that time. It's time for your
Yo,
record.
imagine Ben Shapiro. The only thing you got to do, you can say
Jesus
whatever
Christ.
you want. The only thing you got to do is just say
Get
Christ
outta
is
here.
king, and he loses his fucking mind. God, what a weak piece of shit, dude.
Stop it. Get out of here. Get.
I want to respond to
We're live on YouTube. You can't have tits. There's no tits. No tits on YouTube. No ass on YouTube either.
Come on. Just real quick. I'm just kidding. How did we get 10,000 views on this video, dude? They just came out of nowhere. Might be good for
crazy.
views, man.
Oh, are you hanging out? She's hanging out.
Then,
it's time for Ryan. It's time for the record. I don't know if you have record stuff, but it's time for the record.
I have some record stuff, and the record will be like when she loses her job, you can just say that producer's girlfriend leaves job to join OnlyFans.
There was an update on the OnlyFans teacher. No, I got friggin' dogs in here. It's always chaos when he comes around.
I think I'm getting a cat, dude. I think I'm getting a cat tomorrow, so I might be in on the chaos.
You're getting a cat?
Siamese,
Yeah, Siamese cat.
Mm-hmm.
It's true. We had puppies, Ryan. They're
basically
I want one.
They're
they're all gone now.
What the fuck is... You couldn't help me up with a freedom dog?
I swear to God. Yeah, it's
I want to respond to Mike last week. I want to respond to other Mike last week, Big Mike.
Other Mike? What did other Mike say last week?
We talked about semen and men picking the sex.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he talked about how we all start as girls. That's why we have nipples.
It looks like what? He's vertical because So, yeah, it's not going well for Ryan. His internet doesn't work, so he's just what? Well, I don't know why he got out of the attic.
They don't want you to.
Maybe because we beat the Nazis.
Yeah, they don't want you to get the program. I don't know. Like, people think I'm kidding when I say technology don't like me, but my fucking credit card sometimes doesn't swipe at the store the first time.
Oh, Dave Ramsey's probably in on that.
Only time you see the inside of a restaurant is if you work there. Bro, I work there and still can't afford the food. What are you talking about?
No, you can't have my water. Get the fuck.
You know, Dave Ramsey and the New York Times have something in common, David. If you're poor,
it's not a sip.
It's not.
Dude, I can't. I'm building a studio and I'm going to have a locking door. Yeah. Yeah, I will.
What you should do is build the door hidden, David, so she doesn't even know where the fuck it is.
Oh, a hidden trap door. That'd be cool.
Hidden studio door, dude.
For our bedroom, and you said no.
Yeah, because we don't need a hidden bookshelf door for our bedroom. We might actually.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
We probably are clarified as domestic terrorists.
Like, sir, the door to the left is the suspect. Like, there's no door.
The hidden door, literally half the water's gone. The hidden door doesn't matter. It's like they're gonna drone strike the house. It doesn't matter.
There's the reason Mark Zuckerberg's building an underground bunker in fucking Hawaii.
So what did you say about Mike? You said he said.
Oh yeah, that we all started single cell females because we have nipples or something,
and that's why we have nipples.
Yeah. Well, I guess the point
you can't be a single cell female.
Yeah. The problem is like people forget that, like, once again, the DNA and the code for life and like the genetic sequence that divides based on the sex of the child is in the sperm. Don't matter how we start, the sperm dictates if it's a boy or girl. And like you said, David, it's only a single cell until it meets the sperm, and then it's now a multiple cell, and it doesn't stay a multiple cell for a week. It's instant, and it doesn't stop. Like, it's instantaneous life. It doesn't fucking wait. A fetus doesn't wait a day before it gets an extra cell. It's instantaneous, which is actually like the biblical, like the biological proof that life starts at conception in a way. Whatever. And
Well,
some
it's
would
just
say, if you look at Carl Jung, if some of the psychology that some of these psychologists say, mainline psychologists that made most of the areas of psychology that is now studied at a broad level, some of those people believe that some of consciousness is actually just a collection of all the cells in your body communicating to your consciousness about what it needs and its desires and its fears. And that's where adrenaline and all these systems that are plugged into your brain to tell you that you're upset, that's all your cells in your body reacting to being upset. So take it what it will. Life doesn't start at conception, but all of my cells speak to me all together, all at the same time. It's whatever. Fuck them. The bridge, Dave. The bridge,
what bridge?
the one that was exploded on purpose.
No, I'm not familiar.
The one that was the only rated hazardous material carrying vessel bridge in the entire tri-state Baltimore area.
Oh, the Key Bridge. I'm sure it's
The one named
coincidence.
after the guy that fucking wrote the greatest banger in American history. No, it's not a Taylor Swift song.
I'm sure it's coincidence. Why is bisexual Undertaker trending?
Oh, we gotta see this.
Don Lemon's also trending, but I feel like that's redundant.
What if he's really on PVD and you're a lying fuck from last week with
I feel like Don Lemon is the bisexual Undertaker.
Super gay guy is actually gay and a girl. Like, it kind of saw half of that.
Was that Aaron Rodgers? I don't understand what's happening.
Why is Woody coming?
That's interesting.
See, I told you.
I don't know what to say about this.
Is that Tupac and Snoop Dogg laughing?
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Yeah. Speaking of hip hop, we'll cut through to Decembertainment right now. J. Cole dropped the album, David. Dropped a mixtape.
Joe says consciousness is where everything is derived from.
Amen. J. Cole's that's my actual Decembertainment. I'm not getting out of here too soon, but Decembertainment this week is the J. Cole mixtape album. If you like hip hop, check it out. And if you're into hip hop beef, Dave, which I know you kind of like skirt around, whatever, but Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole have always been like the big three, and there's always been who's better, and there's a diss song on there for J. Cole to Kendrick, and it's pretty cool. It's just cool to see like some of that. The album kind of reminds me of like a 90s hardcore hip hop, softcore R&B album. And then to hear like some of the real hardcore bars, it kind of reminds me of some like battle trance rapping, like kind of like how the early mid 2000s was that gangster hardcore clubby hip hop, like Nelly, 50 Cent, Tupac style. It kind of reminds me of that. And it's a mixtape. He's gonna drop an album after, so I don't listen to a lot of music, but anything from J. Cole I support. And the bridge, David. What did you send me? It was like 6 ships are backed up in that harbor right now, costing the economy a bunch of money.
Well, kind of. It was worse than that, I think. It was multiple ships that were part of our national defense.
Surely
that's blocked in the harbor.
So if America gets attacked, is that going to be my fault as well? Like the economy is my fault?
Well, you were steering the ship, Ryan.
Maybe the cascade of errors on the Microsoft Excel sheet is what caused the ship.
Maybe that's why the ship crashed. It was a cascade of errors. Let me see if
Dude, did you know that they're missing 2 minutes of data off the black box on the boat?
Of course they do.
Just 2 minutes. It was
probably the crucial 2 minutes.
It was right before all the lights went off and they lost steering.
Yeah.
No big deal. No big deal.
Just like Epstein's cameras went out.
Oh, you mean the most guarded prison in all of New York City?
It says 11 ships are trapped behind the Key Bridge, including 4 considered critical to the nation's defense.
Just 4.
Yeah.
Would be.
Did they ask any of the Nobel Peace Prize winning ships if they're
crazy? Yeah, just 4. Only 4. What do you think 4 shiploads of national defense material is? It was probably going to Ukraine anyway, so quite frankly,
Yo,
it probably didn't
just
matter.
imagine when they're like, yeah, why was there a terrorist attack in America? Cascade of errors. Like a fucking bridge exploding. Just a small cascade of errors, David. And the 4 ships that we need to protect that area of the tri-state area by Washington fucking D.C. They're going to blow the White
Do you
House
think-
up before the election. So I can't even vote a guy in to replace the old guy that I vote out.
So
Trump will win if White House explodes. Fucking
we're
hilarious.
literally reading articles that there were errors of emails and State Department reps and everything hacked by China. And then we have a ship that just crashes on its own after it's cyber attacked.
Destroys the only,
And
the
there's
only
4
place.
There's 4 the only place where hazardous materials. There's 4 national defense ships that are now blocked in. It's all unrelated. All of
Do you remember when it came on the show last week? I was like, oh, if you guys look at this from a map on the it's like, yeah, prime military. No, just only of the 4 key ships, Dave. Just 4 crucial members.
Do you think Biden was going to Baltimore to do an
Talk
infrastructure
about
speech? He was going to talk about infrastructure, like in Pittsburgh when that one bridge collapsed. The day he was going to talk about bridges.
The city with the most bridges in all of the world. One of them just happens to.
What did the Francis Scott Key Bridge know about Hillary Clinton?
It was on Epstein's call. Surely, David, the bridge.
Speaking of Bezos,
2000.
speaking of, Jeff Bezos is buying up a bunch of properties on an island unrelated to Epstein.
Hey, what do all these billionaires have in common? Oh, they all have a private island. It's weird.
Ryan, your face just had a big thumbs up on it.
Maybe somebody likes it. Dude, the bridge thing is really crazy. Like, think about it.
Dude,
Dave,
we
hold on.
need to talk
Hold
about
on.
this. Oh,
Hold
yeah, I know,
on a
but
sec.
yeah, but
What
this
happened
guy.
on 9/11? Okay? 2 planes flew into a building. Okay?
Yeah, that's right.
Right. A bridge drove into a boat, sailed into a bridge.
Yeah, well, that's
What is
way different. Yeah, way
What
different.
is different?
Yeah, it's totally different.
Totally different.
Yeah, way
There's
different.
just 4 crucial ships trapped. That's a terrorist attack. I'm not buying it. And they've been awfully quiet on the bridge for now. What is this? The January 6th?
Yeah, but worse than this.
Is the Chinese
So
flag there?
we gotta follow. We haven't talked about it a lot, but do you know the what's Joe Biden's daughter's name? Ashley Biden. There was the
yeah,
diary that was found how her dad would creepily shower with her and like she felt very uncomfortable about it.
That's probably fine.
Yeah, sure. Well, this guy
Maybe
here-
he blamed her, David, like they did for the economy.
this guy is getting mocked because he went on X to like defend it. The thing about the Ashley Biden diary is their defense has totally changed from it's not real, you're making it up, to oh, they found it but it looks fake, to it's definitely real but now they're defending adult men showering with their teenage daughters.
Yeah, it's not that bad, Dave.
Well,
You know,
that's what he
it's not
said. He
bad
said,
as-
well, there's a lot of doctors say that men showering with their daughters is fine up to a certain age. Like, yeah, up to a certain age. What's the age, though?
When your son looks at you and says, I don't want to shower with you because you have big junk. Your junk's too long and hairy.
That's when they're too old.
Well, personally, honestly, like,
What Nolan said to Dave. That's how we knew it was time. Then he graduated to showering on his own.
yeah, it's kind of like, you know, I think the guy realizes before the girl.
I would think so.
Yeah, dude, they
But-
blew the
but-
bridge. They sailed that bridge. There's no difference between the bridge and 9/11. I don't understand. It just happens all the plane crashes happen into buildings all the time, David.
Well, every once in a while.
There's just all
I know
these
you can't
ships, these 4 crucial ships just sitting in the harbor in the tri-state area around Washington, D.C. And a large shipping vessel just happened to crash into it and the entire thing got destroyed.
Yeah.
Fuck Ben Shapiro. I hope Candace Owen goes on Joe Rogan and rips him a new asshole and bankrupts him. I don't want ill wills. I know there's families and everything else, but these guys that are up there that are telling you that they're leading you to the promised land and Jesus and his shepherd and all this shit, if they're that type of people that say they want American values and all this, and if truly all Candace really did was just preach Jesus, and maybe that Israelis shouldn't go and murder Palestinians all the time or vice versa, or whatever the hell it was.
You know, it's funny, Ryan. His latest podcast got flagged on YouTube. That's strange.
Who? Joe Rogan? Clearly, they wouldn't do that.
No, Dave Smith.
Who's Dave Smith?
He's like the libertarian comedian guy. He's pretty solid. I like him. He's one of the reasonable libertarians. I like this guy. He's like the
non-pedo libertarians.
Yeah. Like realistic. He's realistic. I like him. I'm a fan.
Yeah, wasn't China invading Taiwan or something? Yeah, ain't that? I actually seen a thing that the gay pride thing kind of needs to end because there's nothing to be prideful. Like basically, it's accepted. So what are you pride about? You know. That's not my idea, by the way. Fuck Ben Shapiro. I know I said that already.
Well, it's crazy. He will not do it with like a third party person involved. He won't go on PBD. He won't go on Rogan. He won't go on anybody. He's like just will only do it on the Daily Wire.
Well, clearly, David, when you have nothing to hide, you would only select where you could pick it. What's up with this? Are we trying to say she's not attractive too?
I don't know.
That better not be Eric Blair or whatever. Or what's that tranny? What's the Blair White? Is that her name?
No, it's not. It's not.
Oh god, seeing people like that scare me. All right, David. I don't got a December entertainment other than J. Cole, but I got a rant here. And
okay, rant away.
Yeah, the eclipse, the fucking eclipse.
What? Yeah, the eclipse.
The eclipse, dude. First of all, now that Eve's in the room, did she look at the sun the whole time? What was her experience last eclipse?
I don't know what that means. Yeah, Eve's here.
Yeah,
Ryan wants to know if you looked
on our Facebook.
Ryan wants to know if you stared at the sun the whole time.
Yeah. Last in 2017 or whatever. I did.
You were sun gazing.
Yeah, because I've heard that it's actually not bad to stare at the sun and you can't go blind and it's bullshit.
That's okay. I feel like that's absolutely not true. There are
David,
people.
So is like a boat just casually driving into a fucking bridge.
There are people who partake in something called sun gazing, which I think is like a ancient.
Google this. I have to.
Sun gazing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look up sun gazing.
Okay.
Sun
Tell
gazing,
me if it's an esoteric thing. If there's even 1% remote chance that ancient people were staring at the sun, I'm staring at the sun the rest of my life.
Here, sun gazing, and what are the benefits? I'll pull this up.
Just type in sun gazing. It's just like
I did. So you know what's funny is when you click the link says sun gazing and its benefits, but then when you click it, it says, "Is it safe for your eyes?" That's not what you said. That was clickbait. What is sun gazing? Sun gazing is the practice of looking directly into the sun. That's not accurate. Theoretically supports one's health. Those who partake say solar power helps them find great inner strength. So this is very misleading because that's not what sun gazing is.
Well, it sounds scientific, David.
So the idea behind sun gazing is that you stare not directly at the sun, but like in the direction of the sun, where you will get, and you don't stare at it. Like you. It's kind of hard to. I can't display.
It's like indirect light in your eyes.
Yeah, you know how you can like roll your eyes back. You know what I'm saying? Can you
David,
not do
roll
that?
my eyes back during certain times.
All right, so like you do that, but like in the direction of the sun. It's supposed to like UV wash your eyes. I don't know if any of this is actually true, but that's like what people think.
UV
But it's definitely not staring directly at the sun.
UV wash your eyes sounds fucking ridiculous. All right. So for the record,
well, it's like think this way, like you know how people go outside and then you get soaked in vitamin D and it's good for you. It's kind of like that, but for your eyes.
Okay.
What do you mean no? It's literally good for you.
No,
Vitamin D is incredibly good for you.
No.
Being in the sun in general is great for you.
No.
It literally raises your testosterone as a man.
Yeah, that's right.
I was outside for 1 minute.
Yeah. Hold on. Let's see if there's a better. I don't want to get too hung up on the sun gazing thing, but it's interesting.
Yeah, that's right.
Sun gazing is a meditative practice that involves looking at and focusing on the sun. However, medical professionals do not support this practice.
See,
Please
this is
confirm
why I
your damage
believe
to
it.
your eyesight.
This is why I believe it.
You have no idea what you're talking about. You're just making it up.
Sun
Anything
gazing? No,
meditative
it's
is
really cool.
grounded in ancient esoteric meaning.
Well, I'm not making that up. I'm saying that's what they claim. So it has origins in several cultures worldwide. In ancient times, people revered and worshipped the sun and its energy. Most recently, there has been a resurgence of sun gazing among people looking for natural and holistic ways to take care of their mind and body. Most individuals who practice sun gazing incorporate the practice into their daily meditation.
Yo, tell me Jesus stared at the sun for even half a second longer than you're supposed to. I'm gonna be fucking glaring at the sun every day.
Get up here.
I don't know. That's just what I've heard of sun gazing. You know what I have heard about sun gazing is it makes the floaty things go away. If you want to try it,
Wiggly line thing.
not the squiggly line, the floaties.
This is an interesting program. Sometimes.
I don't know. It's
The
just what I heard.
eclipse. The eclipse.
I'm not saying it's
David.
true. Saying it was what I
Center.
heard.
We're center on the eclipse. Couple
Yeah.
things. I almost think everybody should be at home having an eclipse party and making it this beautiful, amazing, trendy, dorky social activity that we all brag and talk about on Tuesday. I also understand that's not how the world works and we all got to make money. I also understand that kids should probably not be at school when something so cool is going on. I also understand.
Wow, you're really Tim Pool in this thing.
I also understand that it's just the dumb sun and the dumb moon. But I'm going to tell you something. They have commercialized this eclipse to fucking oblivion. In Buffalo and Niagara Falls, around our area, it is going to be an epicenter. There's about 1 million extra people in our area this weekend, particularly for tomorrow for the eclipse. And I don't know how busy the area is going to be or whatever. But in general, there's t-shirts, there's billboards, there's signs, I survived the eclipse. And it's just like, I know why it's being done. It's generating the economy. It's hopping on the fucking Instagram trail. There's the backdrops for your Instagram. You know, I know this is being socialized and capitalized and social media-fied, and I understand. Like, I don't even care about that. But like, it's kind of like
Pulling
people
up
are being
a news article on Daily Mail.
people are being brought together for the one of like the coolest things we can experience in like every single wrong way that you could possibly be brought together. Like I heard it put one time that like it's crazy to think like how much the moon affects you, like the moon phases.
Mhm.
And like, because if you look at the tides when there's a full moon, the tides are higher, right? And that's water, and we're made of water. So like, if it's affecting the tide, it's going to be affecting your biology to some degree equally as much as it affects the tides in the ocean on the entire Earth. And then you would also think if the tides of the earth are different, that your life and your biology is also different at that time because the earth itself is different and we're part of the earth. But I still think like the thing we're actually supposed to be focusing on is that this fucking unbelievable. I've never seen a totality eclipse in my life in this area, and I'm 32. So that means this doesn't happen often. And the time it would happen, like my plan, even if I'm at work, like the way I'm looking at it is I'm going outside for the entire thing. If it's 10 minutes, whatever, I'm going to stare at the whole thing. And
What was the eclipse like 5 years ago? Was that?
it wasn't the
notch?
whole thing. It was like a little higher, you know, like
It was
so,
a mostly eclipse.
like this. You know what I mean?
So this is literally blocking out the entire sun.
That picture there will happen in Buffalo. Like that's what that's totality. You'll get the ring and everything. It's gonna be fucking gnarly.
Nolan came home from school and he's like, "It's a pemsicle eclipse," and I'm like, "What the fuck does that even mean?"
No.
Like, Oh, the
Don't
Pemskull
you
one.
remember? We had to look it up.
Pembuskel or something. I don't know.
What the hell he was saying.
What the fuck are you talking about? I googled it. Sure enough.
Yeah,
Nolan's
man.
a little
But
autistic.
Buffalo will get like totality, and it's gonna be cool. But dude, like, it's momentum. It's like literally universal galactic momentum. You know, like how many things have to happen, and it's not like voodoo or anything. I know it's just math that it spins this fast and this thing and all these things. Now, granted, some would say, that's just the way the universe works, and it's just great intergalactic Veep, David, that it all works together. But my point is, like, for all these things to happen, for us to even experience all these things in the very place, and all the little cosmic math that has to happen. And the thing people are worried about is putting it on the fucking internet. When in reality, you should be looking up at that thing and realizing how much of your life is actually dictated by the rising and the falling of the moon and stars. And that, like, the gravitational pull of the moon. Like, dude, the earth will get like 10 degrees cooler where you are or something.
Mm.
Like
instantaneously?
Yeah, the sun goes out, dude. It's like turning off the sun.
Is this even eclipse, or is this the geoengineered brighter clouds?
Well, I don't know. Maybe they'll just spray up. Maybe they'll just make an artificial moon, David, and just have a permanent eclipse.
Sure. Why not just launch moons into space? We could just have like hundreds of them.
That's no
You have
moon,
eclipses all
David.
you can have eclipses like every couple months.
Yeah, every Death Star. Just put Death Star up there. I get my point is more than anything that it is super cool. And I heard one woman in my apartment complex, she was complaining, and I know she's like some old lady that sits at home and just watches the news and is grumpy, but she's kind of shit talking like, oh, it's just an eclipse and all this. It's like, I really think people forget how cool the world is. Like, nobody ever in their life has been in a beautiful field of like flowers or amazing nature and be like, man, I'm depressed. Never once. Never once did I wake up camping. What's up, girl? Never once did I wake up.
That's cultural appropriation, right?
Well, I'll allow her. I'll allow it. I mean, she could be white and just a super tan. Or does she look like?
Well, she is white. That's the problem. You can't have beads in your hair if you're white. Cultural appropriation.
Okay. Yeah, the eclipse. The thing, I'm just tired about them commercializing it. They're trying to separate you from how great nature is and how much power. Because the real thing is if you realize that the way that the sun and the moon and all these things affect you, you'll realize that the power you have within yourself, and they want to separate your spirit from your outer body. I know we all know this. It's not a game of Veep. It's on purpose. They're commercializing the eclipse so that you don't individualize it. And I think more than anything, that's what I'm going to be doing tomorrow. And until then, Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us on Rumble for the live weekly show. As always, David, I appreciate you and everybody else for your time. I'll see everyone later.
Rumble, we were on X. Yeah, X. We did a little X live. We were on YouTube, but probably not anymore.
Probably not.
That's Ryan said tranny. You can't say tranny, Ryan.
I thought training is like the word.
No, you can't. You can't. It's not. You can't say that.
David, it said Congress shall not make any laws that harbors freedom of speech, though.
Well, it was a private company. It's YouTube, right?
But they have a portal, David, to the government, making it public.
Yeah. Well, they do have that.
Oh, speaking of public, there's Alex Jones paying out the GDP of 7 countries in India to. Whatever. I'm gone. I love you guys a long time.